Well, Monica, now what dost thou think of this ornament right here?
Whatever you say, Alan.
Such enthusiasm.
Oh, it's a beautiful tree, isn't it?
I think it's lovely.
You know, darlings, I think it's the prettiest tree that you've ever had.
You know something, darling? You say the same thing every year.
Yes, and perhaps I'm right every year, dear.
I do think Lila's right. I think the tree gets prettier every single year.
Do you really feel that way?
Well, Alan, I don't know many people who go around saying that their tree gets uglier every year. Forget it.
Ah, foolish me. There I was thinking you were getting into the Christmas spirit. I should have known better.
Oh, Alan, dear, please don't make cryptic remarks.
Yes, Alan, would you, hand me that box of ornaments, please?
What, these?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad it's going to be a smaller party this year, aren't you?
Very glad.
You know, at large parties, I always feel afterwards that I talked incessantly to everyone and never said anything of the slightest importance to anyone. But then, of course, perhaps I never do.
Mother, what are you doing?
Oh, just making sure that you invited everyone. Are you sure you did, Monica?
Well, yes, I'm fairly sure I did, yeah.
Mother, that's last year's Christmas list.
Well, of course it is, dear. It's an excellent way to check and make sure that nobody's been forgotten.
Oh, okay, fine.
And, Alan, don't take that condescending voice with me, please. I am not senile, you know.
Yes, come on, Alan, please.
I'm almost through anyway. I'm down to the W's now. Aha! You see? I do not find an invitation checked off for Rick and Leslie Weber.
Why not?
Oh, well, Alan, I didn't think you wanted me to invite them.
You didn't think I wanted you to invite them. I didn't want you to invite Rick, Monica, but I certainly wanted you to invite Leslie. Thank you, Mother. I apologize. It's a good thing you did double-check.
Ben, you are insisting that I invite Leslie.
Indeed, I am insisting. I work with her every day. It's going to be very strange if she isn't here, Monica.
All right, then, Alan, I will have to hand-deliver the invitation because I really don't trust the mails this time of year.
Now, what about that other Weber situation?
What do you mean?
Well, I see that Jeff Weber is on your list, but I ran into Audrey Hardy the other day, and she tells me that there's a possibility that Jeff's wife may be allowed home for Christmas.
Oh, there it is, Mother. What do you think?
Oh, darling, it really is beautiful. I think it really is the best ever.
I agree.
Now, darlings, do let's try to have a Merry Christmas. Alan, Monica?
Lila, of course we will.
Perhaps it'll be a little more festive this year now that we have Alexandria with us, don't you think?
Well, it certainly will be lively, that's for sure.
Yes, well. Now, darlings, I think if you don't mind, I will go upstairs to our wing. Oh, dear, I do miss Edward so much now that he's become involved in all this back-to-work business. Of course, the whole thing is utterly ridiculous. I mean, after all, we've made our money. He doesn't have to work so hard.
I know that, Mother, but a man has to have an outlet, really.
Yes. Oh, look at Alan and his involvement with Susan Moore.
Involvement?
Allow me to take a moment, Mother, to clarify that rather vague remark by my wife. I am involved with Susan Moore as co-owners of the campus disco, that's all.
Oh, well, let's try not to fuss too much, dear. With the decorations, I mean.
Yes. Even my poor mother can't take the strain of our relationship anymore.
Well, even poor Monica cannot take the strain of our relationship anymore.
Then why don't you try to do something to ease some of that strain?
I have been making every effort, Alan. I have been pleasant to your mother. I've been decorating the tree. However, you have seemed to want to make nasty, snide comments all morning.
What are you talking about? You were the one who just this moment made that ridiculous remark about Susan Moore. And you've never made a remark in your life without an ulterior motive. Now, I want to know what you're up to.
I am not up to anything, and I'm definitely not up to a ridiculous conversation like this. Now, if you'll help me clean up this mess, I don't want to ask Stella to do it. She's got too much on her mind at the Christmas party.
Certainly isn't going to be a Christmas like last year, is it?
Hardly.
Last year, Christmas time, our son was first born. I don't think there was a happier man on God's earth. I thought I was more fortunate than anybody alive.
Well, that seems like a very long time ago.
A lifetime ago.
Another life entirely.
That's it exactly. Who could have known, Monica, that at that time that's what you were angling for, was another life entirely?
Look, Alan, if we're going to go on with the conversation like this, I really am not up to it.
No, we're not going to go on like this. We're all going to put on brave faces, and we're going to be a happy little family group at Christmas time, aren't we?
Alan, you have your son. He is 1 year old, he's healthy, he's a beautiful baby boy. I mean, that should make you very happy.
Oh, I'm happy about him, Monica. He's the only bright spot in my entire life. You know, I really feel sorry for my parents having to pretend that they see the two of us happy together. They'll be putting on their bright, cheery faces coming down on Christmas and saying, "Oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year." Dear Lord, Monica, how long can you go on living in this sort of a lie?
And why don't you give me a divorce, Alan? Why don't you let me go and have custody of my son?
I could never do that.
Well, then partial custody. Alan, for heaven's sakes, you could go out, you could make a new life for yourself without me.
I can't.
Why? Why, Alan? You're just as miserable as I am.
That's right, Monica, I am. But it'll never be over between us. Never. And if it ever is, it'll be when I say so.
What is with you? What is with you? Do you find some sort of sick, perverted enjoyment in all this?
No, I hate it. But I have to put up with it, and so do you.
Well, I can't, Alan. I simply cannot.
Oh, yes, you can. And you're going to have to. So you better relax and try and find whatever happiness you can out of being Mrs. Alan Quartermain.